Today, I'm going to cover everything I can about the POF Rogue. This thing is chambered in 308 and I love it. It does have a collapsible stock, so if you're short, if you're tall, if you're CQB and you want to collapse, it gives you the option. I've also found carrying this in my case, I got an SKB case for an AR and I have to collapse the stock to like there for it to fit my case. So it is a good feature that has that. It's pretty standard, but it's pretty nice. It does have a small rubber padding on the back to help absorb the kick. However, from what I can see and what I have noticed is that this gun does not kick a lot. For being a 308 and having a 18.5-inch barrel, it's pretty minimum. I mean, you can shoot once and just stay on target, especially if you have your elbows resting on something. You are locked down. Even after the first shot, you're good. The barrel does have a 1/8 twist. And when I first bought it, I did not know that. However, I learned pretty fast that I could not shoot 150 grain bullet out of it. I did upgrade to 168 grain bullet, and my groups have been tighter since. But the 1/8 twist on the barrel doesn't stabilize the bullet. Like a typical 308 has a 110 or a 112 twist, and it's not something that I personally think about. But at 100 yards, I was shooting, and I was hitting like to the top of the bullseye, the bottom left, the right, and it was just in a circle around it to say. Once I switched to the heavier bullet, that problem pretty much went away for me. So you might have to buy a more expensive bullet or a little bit heavier of a bullet to shoot this thing accurate. But that's not that big of a deal at all, especially if you're using it for hunting or anything within 300 yards. You're not going to have a problem whatsoever with this gun. If you are a sniper, you might want a little bit longer of a barrel. But I mean, that's just nitpicking at that point. It is a really nice gun. It is a sub 6-pound rifle right out of the box. With this scope and this scope mount, it's a Leopold scope and a Leopold scope mount. This gun weighs 7.5 ounces. So since I put the scope and the mount on it, it's gained 1.5 pounds. 7.5 ounces, 7 pounds, 0.5 ounces is nothing. You can carry this gun around the world and you wouldn't even notice that you had it on your shoulder. Compared to the other 308s at the store, it is a day and night difference. I absolutely love how light this gun is. And I never thought that I would be someone to like something just because it weighs less or whatever until I picked this thing up. And it is a noticeable difference. I mean, you can freehand this thing like it's a 22. It is absolutely insane. For being light and having no kick and being able to shoot the stock 20-round magazine that it comes with, it's awesome. So the gun comes with this 20-round magazine. It is a Magpul magazine. So it fits 20 rounds, which it's not 30, but you can, I'm sure, buy more extended clips. It's also not an AR-15, so 20 rounds is probably more than enough for what I use this gun for. I did have to buy a 5-round mag for hunting purposes where I live. 5 is the restriction. So I bought a 5-round mag. For looks on this gun, I absolutely love it. You can buy it fully blacked out, or you can buy it with this color, brown tannish, whatever you want to call it. They didn't have the black version when I was there, so I don't know exactly what it looks like in person. However, I do love this color combination by itself. It is, I just love it. It's awesome. The gun looks great, it feels great, and on top of that, it is easy to tear apart. That is the thing for me, like how easy is it to really clean a gun? It is easy to clean a gun, especially when it's an AR. So for this AR, you just have to pop these 2 pins. There's one here and one here. You push them out, and then you pull them. You do have to, before you do that though, you do have to close the receiver. Otherwise it will not come apart. You'll just be stuck there wondering what you're doing. But you pull the pins, and they do get easier to pull. When I first had this, I needed to pop them with a little flathead. Now I can just get it with my fingers and pull them out. So that is nice. This comes out just like a normal AR. Nothing new there. Pop that, pop that. Now, I did notice I took this out and I hunted with it in the rain. So I really wanted to wipe down the barrel so it didn't rust, being silver. Or being any color, it's a barrel, it can rust. You do have to unscrew this mount, and you have to loosen up these two bottom screws. That's all that holds this handguard on, and it's not that hard at all. You just need a T25 bit, and it all comes right off. Now you do have to be careful when you are pulling this off because it is sort of like, it's tight with the rubber holding it. And then as soon as it comes off that, it's all loose and you can smack your barrel pretty easy. But that's not that big of a deal because it's a gun, it's a tool. So as soon as you pull that off, you can wipe down your whole barrel, no problem whatsoever. And yes, you can take your trigger assembly out, buffer tube, whatever you want to do there, which I probably should at some point, but I have not yet. But for basic teardown, you're in it less than 3 minutes. You can tear it apart, slam it back together, and you're good to go. Now, as I'm putting this together, the bottom two screws on this, set screws, they have like an Allen wrench head, but I mean, the T25 bit for some reason just fits perfectly, and I don't understand it. So that's all you need to take apart this gun, which really just makes it simpler. Instead of carrying around two tools, you can only carry around one, and I mean, you're good to go. That is only if you really want to wipe down the barrel because you got it wet, or just make it shiny, or whatever you need to do. That is the only thing you need a tool for on this gun. Once you get that all back together, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Throw that back in. Throw the bolt back in. Slap them in there together. Push your pins. And you are ready to go to war, just like that. It's really simple. It's a great gun. I would highly recommend it. It is a big investment, but you really do get what you paid for. My dad has an AR-15, and that thing weighs, his AR weighs 7.4 pounds. So it is 0.1 ounce lighter than this 308. And to me, that's insane. To have a 308 weigh the same as a AR-15, chambered in 223, 5.56, it's unbeatable. I mean, this is a more expensive gun, which you can buy more expensive AR-15s, I suppose. You can buy them as expensive as you want. Just like 308s, you can buy more expensive 308s. They're not going to be as light as this 308, though. They may shoot out to 1,000,000 yards. This one may shoot out to 1,000,000 yards, if you ask me. It's all about who's behind it. So, in conclusion, I highly recommend this gun. I am in love with it, and I do not think I will ever own another 308. I mean, this is all I'm ever going to need in the 308 caliber. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good one.